On today's menu, a delightful recipe that you'll absolutely love. Buddha's Delight.
Right, so there are actually quite a few ingredients, but don't feel intimidated because the cooking process is actually very, very simple. First off, we just need to rehydrate some of these dry ingredients.
Bring a good amount of water to boil for the dry ingredients. 6 dry shiitake mushrooms. 5 grams wood ear mushrooms. 35 grams bean curd sticks. Hot water. Rehydrate the ingredients for about 10 to 15 minutes.
So while those things are rehydrating, we're going to chop our veggies.
Chop down about 100 grams of broccolini into bite-sized pieces. Two small carrots, roughly chopped. One red bell pepper, roughly chopped. $70 grams water chestnuts, chop in half. 100 grams Napa cabbage, roughly chopped. Six tofu puffs, chop in half. Remove the rehydrated mushrooms and rinse on the cold water. Chop down the wood ear mushrooms. Remove the stalks on the shiitakes and chop them in half. Half tablespoon potato starch. 1 tablespoon mushroom water. Stir. 4 tablespoons soy sauce. 1 teaspoon dark soy sauce. Give it a stir and your sauce is ready. Saute pan. Medium heat. Good drizzle of olive oil. Peppers. Saute for a couple of minutes. Add in and saute the broccolini for a couple of minutes. Napa cabbage. Water chestnuts. Half cup chickpeas. Saute for a couple of minutes.
Alright, so chickpeas are not traditional in Buddha's Delight, but I really like them and they add just a little bit of meatiness to the dish.
1 cup corn. Rehydrated ingredients. Tofu puffs. Add in 1 cup of the mushroom water. Sauce. Saute for a few more minutes until the sauce is nice and glossy. Plate. You can now make this delightful dish with absolute confidence.
Man, this is truly a delightful plate, literally. Look at that. That is excellent. Just so simple, so humble, yet looks incredibly beautiful. Has amazing colors, and that sauce is just, everything soaks in that sauce and just absorbs it. Really delicious, kind of light tasting, salty kind of soy sauce that is slightly thickened up by the potato starch, so that it just glazes and makes everything really glossy. And the veggies are just perfectly cooked. The rehydrated ingredients are some of my favorites, especially the bean curd sticks, the cloudier or wood ear mushrooms. Just gives that really delicious sort of crunchiness that's so unique. And of course the dry shiitake mushrooms, so incredibly meaty, chewy, and of course it absorbs all of that sauce like no tomorrow. You have the nice al dente kind of crunch from one of my favorite ingredients, of course, the broccolini, and the tofu puffs also absorb an incredible amount of that delicious soy sauce. The napa cabbage adds into the delightfulness, the chickpeas adds into the meatiness, and the corn just adds a little bit of that sweetness. Really, really delicious. Have this with a side of freshly steamed rice. And man, this is an absolute, literal delight.
Singapore noodles. Bring a pot of water to boil for the noodles. 3 pieces of garlic, roughly chopped. Finely chop, small piece, ginger. Chop 3 sticks of green onion into bite-sized pieces. Half a red onion, finely sliced. Finely slice a quarter of a red bell pepper. Finely slice a quarter of a green bell pepper. Pat dry about a quarter pound of extra firm tofu and crumble into a bowl. When the water comes to a boil, turn the heat off and soak the noodles for a few minutes.
So this curry powder is a spice blend that I buy, and it has a combination of turmeric, coriander, cumin, ginger, cinnamon, among some other spices. I'll leave a description in the description box below to show you the exact ingredients in this spice blend. So we're just about ready to cook, but before we get started, I'll leave a link in the description box below if you're interested in seeing how easy it is to season a new carbon steel pan to make it really non-stick.
Non-stick pan, medium heat. Drizzle of olive oil. Saute the onions and garlic for a couple of minutes. Add in and saute the tofu for another couple of minutes. Add in the red and green bell peppers. Drain out the water from the noodles and add it to the pan. 1 tablespoon curry powder. 2 tablespoons soy sauce.
So basically the liquid from the soy sauce kind of just picks up anything that is in the pan and also helps that curry powder almost melt into the noodles.
Saute for a few more minutes and it's done. Plate. You can now make this delicious noodle dish with absolute confidence.
Just as a side note, to clean your pan kind of depends on the situation. In this case, it's not too bad, so just hot water is fine, but a little bit of soap doesn't hurt the pan.
Wash out the pan with some hot water and use a wooden spatula. Wipe the pan with some paper towel.
Now you can re-season at least 1 layer of that pan with some oil, but I don't find that really necessary because the next time I'll be cooking on that pan will most likely be with some oil as well.
Put the pan back on medium heat for 3 to 5 minutes. This will ensure the pan to be completely dry. Set a timer so you won't forget about the pan.
Man, I absolutely love Singapore noodles. Definitely one of my favorite dishes of all time. Look at that beautiful color. Man, that is so packed with flavor. I mean, you can even just see it because the noodles, the curry powder just turns those noodles into this beautiful golden color. And even the tofu turns this beautiful golden color. Just really, really beautiful. The flavor is just unreal. It has that little bit of spiciness from the curry powder, has the saltiness from the soy sauce, and a little bit of the sweetness from the bell peppers and the red onion. The green onions add a little bit of freshness to the dish, and it really is just phenomenal how easy this dish is, how beautiful it is, and how incredibly packed with flavor it is. That curry powder adds almost a bit of a smokiness as well, because it's just a blend of different spices. And the garlic, the onions, the ginger just really works really well. The garlic, absolutely delicious. And the ginger adds a little bit of that spiciness, which complements the curry powder really well. And the funny thing about this dish is that it's actually not from Singapore, it's actually Cantonese. I have absolutely no idea why it's called Singapore noodles, but man, regardless, this is a absolutely delicious dish, really easy to make, and just look at that. That is restaurant style, restaurant quality, restaurant looking dish right there. Amazing.
Preheat the oven to 375. Dry half a pound of extra from tofu with paper towel. Chop the tofu into cubes. Line the tofu on a baking tray lined with parchment paper. Bake in the oven for 25 minutes. Chop 3/4 of a green bell pepper into bite-sized pieces. Chop 3/4 worth red bell pepper into bite-sized pieces. Quarter half a red onion. Finely chop 2 pieces garlic. Finely chop small piece, ginger.
Right, so that's basically the prep done. Now let's make our sauce.
Small saucepan. Medium heat. 2 tablespoons cane sugar. 1 teaspoon pink salt. Half cup apple cider vinegar. 2 tablespoons ketchup. Stir. Let the sauce simmer and reduce for 10 to 15 minutes.
This is optional, but I quite enjoy it with some fresh pineapple.
Chop half cup worth of fresh pineapple into bite-sized pieces.
And that tofu is just beautifully crispy.
Saute pan. Medium heat. Drizzle of olive oil. Garlic and ginger. Veggies. Saute for about 5 minutes. Pineapple. Tofu. Sauce. Cook for another few minutes until everything becomes glossy. Plate. Green onion. You can now make this incredible sweet and sour tofu with absolute confidence.
That was incredibly easy. And serve this with some amazing rice, and you have yourself an amazing meal. That is so packed with flavor. It's sour, it's sweet, salty. That incredible flavor from the sweet pineapple just really enhances and lifts up this incredible dish. And just taking the time to bake those tofu cubes just gives it that really nice kind of crispy outer layer and doesn't fall apart when you stir fry it. That is really, really amazing.
My ultimate vegan MAPO tofu. Place 4 dried shiitake mushrooms into a small saucepan. 2.5 cups water. Cover and bring to a boil.
While the mushrooms are rehydrating, we're just gonna prep everything else.
Chop 3 sticks of green onion and set aside. One cup canned chickpeas. Roughly crushed chickpeas with a fork. When the water comes to a boil, turn it down to medium and simmer for 10 minutes. 1 pound soft or medium firm tofu. Drain out the excess water and slice into cubes. Pour out the mushroom water and set aside. Cool down the mushrooms with cold water, then squeeze out the liquid. Remove the stalks from the shiitake mushrooms and finely dice.
Right, so there's so many different versions of mapo tofu, and this particular method is definitely not traditional. But if you haven't already made this incredible chili oil I made in a previous episode, I'll leave a link in the description box below to show you step by step exactly how to make this easy chili oil. Definitely want to make this before making this mapo tofu.
Finely chop 2 pieces of garlic. Finally chop a small piece ginger.
Now we're just about ready to cook, and the final ingredients you need to prep are these amazing Sichuan peppercorns. Bit of a spicy, numbing kind of sensation and a bit of a citrusy flavor. If you cannot find these, you can just sub these out with black peppercorns, but if you can, definitely give these a try.
Saute pan. Medium heat. 1 to 2 teaspoons Sichuan peppercorns. Toast for 1 minute.
It smells incredibly fragrant.
Grind down the peppercorn. Saute pan back on medium heat. 3 tablespoons chili oil. Chickpeas and mushrooms. Saute for 1 to 2 minutes. Garlic and ginger. Sauteed for another minute. 1 teaspoon chili powder. Crushed Szechuan peppercorn. 2 tablespoons doubanjian. This is a Chinese spicy broad bean paste. Reserved mushroom water. One teaspoon cane sugar. 1 tablespoon soy sauce. A splash of rice vinegar. Make a slurry by combining 1 tablespoon potato starch with 1 tablespoon of water. Pour in the slurry while stirring. This will thicken that sauce. Tofu. Gently stir and completely coat the tofu. Plate. green onion. You can now make one of my favorite dishes of all time with absolute confidence.
Really easy to make, and that is incredible. Look at that. This MAPO tofu will blow your mind. That is really, really delicious. My gosh. You get that incredible smokiness from that amazing chili oil. And you just get that really nice meaty texture from the chickpeas and the shiitake mushrooms. That is really, really full and packed with flavor. And that tofu just is coated with that amazing sauce. Serve this with some incredible rice. And this is probably one of my favorite meals of all time. That is really just delicious. By the way, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. And if you haven't already checked out my vegan ramen cookbook that I published not too long ago, you can do so in the link above or a link in the description box below. We're actually on the second edition, just a new cover, same book. And if you purchased the first edition of this book, thank you very much. It is because of you that this project has been made possible. So I'm very grateful and very humbled. Of course, remember to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next episode.